trying to sit at, man?
Yep.
Really?
Huh?
Is that where you gonna sit at, or you gonna sit a little closer?
I'm gonna probably come in some. Hey everybody, we're gonna be live shortly. Sorry we're a little bit behind schedule, but it's all good because we about to rock it out.
Could you have a DVD?
I don't have one this evening. It's okay. That's why we try to look. We try to here you go, see.
Could you have the lights?
Hey Adam, I see you ready. One right here, cause I'm doing the phone right ring.
Just got something right here. Okay, just let me know when you're ready and I'll bring you on.
Okay.
Where you got 12 people on going right now? You got about 12, so let them say it again, let them know.
Okay. Hold on, let me get the. I ain't gonna jiggle moving. Oh, well, you know, let me come out this jacket. I'm gonna just sit it right there. See, I'm
Tell them.
Yeah, because I don't want to do it too ratchet.
Tell everybody you come on in for a second. Okay.
We're coming on shortly.
Okay.
All right.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Stop trying to be cute. Yes, a lot better. Hello, everyone, and we are back with MBG Speaks 101. Wow, this is the final episode of season 2. And season 2 has been awesome because towards the end of season 2, we added an awesome component, an addition in the flesh, Mr. Antoine Johnson, aka the Confidential Informant. And so, Antoine, can you recap a little bit about last week? What do men really want?
Man.
So Antoine thought he knew.
Yeah, so last week, if y'all did miss it, I was my first episode. Once again, my name is Antoine from Richmond, 25 years strong. And I'm the confidential informant. And when last week we talked about what do men really want, because as we know, this is MBG, Motivational Brown Girls, but now we need the male aspect to really tackle those issues and those aspects from our point of view and our shoes. So that's what we tackled on last week. What do we really want?
And what was one of those things? Like, what does Antoine want? Because, you know, one thing y'all have to understand, Antoine is a different kind of guy. Like, we're learning that the more we talk to him, the more we're learning that. So Antoine is a different kind of
dude.
dude.
Agree with me that I'm different. But, you know, main thing we talked about last week, we talked about a lot of things. Like, one thing specifically we talked about was the importance of sex in a relationship.
Yeah.
And women putting the emphasis on that and thinking that's the main thing guys are doing. Like, that's the make it or break it thing that we're looking for when that's not the case at the end of the day. We also talked about, you know, as far as, you know, how girls handle themselves nowadays in relationships, like domestic.
We're going to talk about that tonight.
How women can be abusive, and how men can be abused. We talked about those things, so we talked about a lot. Sorry if you guys missed it, but you guys always can go back and catch it though.
Definitely. But guys, for real, tonight is going to be so crazy because tonight the topic is stay off my timeline. Now see, I started to say stay TF off my timeline, but stay off my timeline. First and foremost, let's pay homage to those who have come before us. So and introduce our special guest, Miss Lesley White of Everyday People. Yeah. Please tell the people who you are.
Well, first, kudos to you and all that you are doing. I see you do so many things. And it's so fun. I know I'm supposed to introduce myself. But I've just seen you out in so many different events, and we've been at the same event.
We have.
And I said, there is a connection coming. There's a connection coming, and here it is. Well, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Les. My brand is Les Cover to Cover, which umbrellas 2 self-published novels. I have an online magazine. It's EDP 365 online magazine. My team, we are EDP 365, and we do our Facebook Live shows on Wednesday. So we're gonna have to have you on our show.
Wow. Wednesday, you know this Bible study, my child.
Well, you know what? But here's the thing. The new year, 2018, will bring new things. So,
all right.
We'll be switching gears.
Okay.
So that people who are, going to Bible study on Wednesdays can take part in the show on Tuesday, because we're going to be doing some big things come 2018.
Perfect. Wow. So, all right, y'all. Social media is the devil. That's what I keep hearing. I keep hearing social media is the devil. So since I keep hearing that, Antoine, you know me and you know how I roll. So my thing is, social media is the devil or is it you? Because I feel like we give the devil too much credit.
Yeah.
And then we put things on God that God don't even be dealing with. Because this is the funny thing. I was just talking to one of the elders. I went back home this weekend. Y'all know I'm from Danville, Virginia. Shout out Danville. And I was at my home church. And so I was talking to my pastor and his wife about some of the things that we've been dealing with MBG and, some of the things we've been dealing with social media. And so when I told him that, social media is the devil, yada. He said, no, wait a minute. He said, what?
Sound like me.
He said, well, I think the use of social media may have some devilish tendencies, but why are we always putting stuff on the devil? Some things you choose to do.
We gotta put our bad behavior somewhere.
Yes, but not only that. I told somebody not too long ago, stop giving the devil so much daggone credit, because my thing is this. I really and truly feel like some things we do based off of our own ill will. Some things we do based off of we need affirmations. And we're going to get into that with this whole social media is the devil, because what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about social media in this context, but we're also going to talk about how social media has ruined friendships, family relationships, how it has ruined people on their jobs. But we also want to talk about the advantages of social media and what it should be used for. So we're going to really get into all of that. But when you hear stay off my timeline, what does that, how does that impact you? What does it make you feel like?
When I hear the term stay off my timeline, it is more so because the person feels as though you're trying to control their freedom of speech on their timeline, or either you're bringing the energy to their timeline. They don't really need to see that in their day-to-day basis, as they mess with them more than the next person. So that's what I get when I think of to stay off my timeline when I think about it.
Okay. Lesley?
Well, when I saw that yesterday, I said, wow, this is going to be a great topic. The first thing I'm thinking of is one, stay out of my business. Stay off my timeline. Sometimes people get on your timeline, assume things about you. First of all your business shouldn't be on your timeline anyway, I think. But to me, when I read that, my first thought was stay out of my business. You're too much into what I'm doing, and you're misinterpreting what I'm giving to the public.
Misinterpretation. Point one. Okay. Social media. Media. What's the term that we hear all the time from 45? Fake news. A part of that is reality. A part of media is to appeal to the perspective of the network that these people are working for. So if you notice, Fox does not appeal to liberal individuals. You notice I said liberal. I didn't say blacks or whites, because you got black conservatives too.
Right.
Holler at me here. Okay. Your CNNs, your MSNBCs, generally, they are very, very, very opinionated. Most of the time, CNN, in my opinion, likes debate. CNN is your more, argumentative news. They're pretty much going to bring you both sides, but you can kind of tell which way they're going when they have people on. So, social media, being social is a way to communicate. You know, when you're social, you're communicating, you're interacting with people. So interactive media. Now, you notice they didn't define social media as positive social media or negative social media. Social media is what you make it. So if all you have time to do is sit down and go down everybody's timeline and pick out everything on their timeline that you don't agree with, stay off their timeline. Block them, unfollow them. Because trust and believe, I have blocked and unfollowed so many people in the last couple of months because you get tired of getting on social media and it's always something negative. It's always negative. But what bothers me is when people start to quote scriptures to sustain their own negative ill will. And that's when you get into false reality. And everybody thinks that false means untrue, but false does not just mean untrue. False also by definition references anything that is done with the intent to deceive or be deceptive. Holler if you hear me. So, you can be fake. You can present false information if the intent is deception. And I think a lot of people are doing that. There are a lot of people who, like my mother say, and I'm going to quote her right now, you got a good line, but your hook is darn rusty. And what has happened for me is that I have begun to understand that I am attracted to people with good lines, but those hooks be rusty. And you know, if you got a rusty hook, it'll hook, but it might break before you reel it back in. So thank God a lot of those hooks have broken before they were able to reel me completely back in the boat. But anyway, stay off my timeline. As a man, do you find that men are becoming more and more increasingly negative and pessimistic on social media?
I would agree, and I think it's I think social media is really now becoming more so of a toxic almost, because like you guys said, the biggest thing is interpretation.
That's
and
true.
A lot of people think that they can interpret a person's feelings and what they're going to do just by a Facebook post, but that's not the case. They're just
Very
speaking
true.
to that subject. If I'm speaking on a murder trial and I think the person's innocent that killed somebody, that doesn't mean I support murderers. That means in this specific case, I'm defending this person. And I think that's getting misconstrued, and we come up with fake beliefs of people from there.
Very much so, very much so. So okay, you said a couple of things. You said interpretation.
Right.
And I'm following, guys, I'm following social media comments because the reality is that we have a couple of people on Facebook Live. Shout out to everybody on Facebook Live. But Jamila Harris said it's not social media, it's the people.
Yeah.
I agree. This is where we are. So, a couple of people told me, girl, I be seeing you on social media, girl, you blowing up. And I'm like, baby, I blew up before social media existed.
Y'all see Brown.
What? Huh? So, my thing is, you think I blew up because you see me on social media. Once again, this is that interpretation. Stop interpreting other people's behaviors and other people's beliefs based off of what you think you see. Because this is what I understand. I know people right now that are in places in their lives that's very gloomy and very dark. But they are putting on a facade for Facebook and Twitter and Instagram that presents this beautiful picture.
And they can't keep it up.
This my thing. Let me tell y'all one thing. Y'all know when Lily Mae pissed off on social media. Y'all know when Lily Mae happy on social media. Because this is where I am. I am not going to pretend that my life is perfect. But what happens is, I love when I know for a fact that people are indirectly addressing me. But what I do is I hit them in their inbox. Because what you will not do is take me out of character. So I'll hit people up in their inbox, and this goes for family, friends, and anybody else. I have contacted people in their inbox and said, what's up? Is there an issue? Most of the time they say no.
Yeah.
And change the subject. But some things are so direct that you know it's geared towards you. Because me, I know I can still be a bitch. I have been a bitch in my life. And I tell people stay off of my timeline because the reality is this. I don't want to revert back to who I used to be. I'm still not all that I ought to be, and you better be doggone glad I'm not who I used to be. Because Lily Mae could turn them up and tear them down. But because Because I see how social media has given people so much false affirmation, people seek social media to make themselves feel good. And this is my charge. Those of you out there who are living under constraints and living under hard times, be vulnerable and expose yourselves, because guess what? You don't know who's waiting to help you. There are people who are trolls, but they are trolls with true concern. And you have to understand that. But when you're lying and putting on facades for Facebook, you don't realize there's always somebody that knows you. There is always somebody out there that knows you and knows what's really going on with you. And all the time, it's not in a negative light. Sometimes people are genuinely concerned. I do believe that. Yeah. But I also believe that there are those individuals out there who don't understand how you build, but you don't build the way they build. And you don't think the way they think. And you don't believe the way they believe, so you're wrong. But I have news for you. There is no one way to skin a rabbit. There's no one correct right way to clean chitterlings. There's no one way to fry chicken. There's no one way to lose weight. There's no one way to worship and praise. And I have to throw all of that out there because these are the topics that are consistently coming up on social media. And my thing is, I feel like we're at a point where we are all so doggone self-righteous that we don't know, we don't know our shit stink. But my mother always said, if you don't believe your shit stink, wallow in it. There's a whole lot of y'all out there wallowing in it.
I've never heard of that last piece.
Oh yeah, wallow in it. I'm fired up, but I'm gonna step back and Lesley, speak to social media and what you think some of the issues are and some of the issues that you've seen, and then we're gonna talk more about staying off my timeline and how social media ruins things.
I think a lot of it has to do with what you put out. Again, how people perceive what you put out. And just like you said, there's no right or wrong way to put things out there. We are both on social media. You're probably more...
oh, you know I'm out there.
Right, you're probably more out there than me. Your topics may be... How you address your topics may be different than how I address my topics. Another example, I have several different pages on Facebook. I have my personal page. I have an author's page. I have a Me Connect Promote page. And I have an EDP 365 page.
Everyday People 365 chat.
That's right. Now, but with each page, I'm going to be different on each page. And you know, sometimes people perceive that as being phony. Well, why aren't you this way or that way? Or why aren't you here doing this on this page? First of all, on my personal page, it's my personal business.
Thank you.
There are things on my personal page that you're not going to see on EDP 365. There are things in my Authors Den and Co-op page you won't see somewhere else. My Authors Den and Co-op page is for strictly authors and things that relate to authors. Sometimes I even hesitate to put things on that page. My Me Connect Promote page, you can't come on talking about hoes and bitches and I'm sorry for the language.
Oh no, you're good.
Are we free?
We grown for it. Ain't no judgment.
That's 365. But, you know, on my Me Connect Promote page, I'm not going to have bitches and hoes and penises and vaginas everywhere because that's not what Me Connect Promote is about. Me Connect Promote is about people networking and coming together. And so there are certain ways you have to behave. There are certain behaviors you're going to display when you're doing different things. People see things on social media and they take it and they run with it and turn it into things that it's not. That's right. People have to understand social media is not my life. Some people make social media their life.
We'll talk about that.
You know what I mean? And so it's like that's all your focus is. I see this, so it means that. You know? But just like you said earlier, people have to understand also that if there's something that you don't like in social media, on anything, you have the right to say, you know what?
Block.
I'm going to remove myself from this page.
Thank you.
I'm going to block this person from looking at what I do. I don't want to see what they do. So social media is all about choices. Right. It's all about choices. And I think that's one of the things that bothers me the most is that people may see something on a page like my brother, Lord help him, has all kinds of, you know, outlandish things on his page. And I'm always asking him, where do you get these things from? But again, he has the right to put whatever he wants on his page.
And so let's talk a little bit about that right and that responsibility.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So it's so interesting because I can remember like 3 years ago, I went to Bike Week. You know, anybody know me know I love motorcycles, grew up on them, motorcycles, 4-wheelers, fast cars, whatever. Shout out to my big brother for doing that to me. But I was at Bike Week, and I thought I was mad. I'm bent over, on the bike, you know, and that was my cover photo. And somebody said, take it down. At first, I didn't understand, but once I realized that I was going into a profession where the kids are going to watch everything that you do. The kids want to emulate what they see because a lot of times they're not seeing positive examples of their African American mothers and fathers in the home. I said, you know what? All right, I get it. Because I used to get upset when people like, take this down, take that down. But as you mature, you learn. But you have to mature in the business sense,
right,
as well as in a personal sense. Now, one thing that I have learned is that I'm still working on toning it down because I seriously get attitudes when individuals try to invade upon how I speak and how I deliver. My delivery works for me. My phrase is this: I can't help how you receive or perceive what I'm saying, but I know my intent. And I know my intentions. And my intentions are never to offend, but I'm very direct. I grew up in a home where you are direct. But I also understand that I grew up in a situation where I was spoken directly to versus, I always say, my brother and I, we grew up in the same home, but we were reared differently. You know, I'm the more rambunctious one. So the comment would be made, well, wow, we didn't know how this one was going to turn out. And I accept that because every day when I look in the mirror, I say, wow, I turned out the total opposite than everybody thought. And to this day, people constantly hang that over my head. Mm-hmm. Well, you yada, 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 but that's not who I am now. Yeah. You want me to be that person because it'll make you feel better about yourself.
And especially in the Black community, just from my perspective, I think we have a very hard time because I think everybody wants to start their own business, but we can't separate the fake from the business because at the end of the day, when I hear the term fake, it's about how you hang around your family and your friends and how you interact.
That's right.
Half of those people won't be doing business with you at the end of the day, so what
That's
they
true.
feel and their opinions, it really doesn't matter because your business is really about how you carry yourself personally and the people that enjoy you and what you do.
Very true.
And I think the Black community needs to learn how to separate the two because everything's not being fake, it's about take care of home.
So Lily, if you don't mind, I want to ask you a question. Because you're out there, because you're a media personality, how do you handle and how do you address when you have different audiences? Now, again, we were at Stacey's event together, and we know what that event was about. It was really great.
Shout out to all the Stacey.
Yes.
Peace and love from the ladies and gents of Motivational.
Who does not mince words.
Yes, yes.
And I also saw you at an event at my job, where the focus was building a library for children. So how do you separate an event like Stacey's and an event, where you had, again, the library coming together, but still be yourself in the process? So
I am multipolar. Yes, I just made another mental health disorder for the DSM-5. I am multipolar. I am Lily Mae, the daughter. I am Lily Mae, the high school educator. I am Lily Mae, the vocalist and the pianist. I am Lily Mae, the annoying little sister. I am Lily Mae, the overprotective sister, daughter, and niece. I am Lily Mae, the multimedia personality. I am Lily Mae a lot. But Lily Mae was born Lily Mae. See, this person that you see has always been the same. I was Lily Mae, the 3-year-old outspoken person, and I'm Lily Mae, the 32-year-old outspoken person. And to answer your question, I don't think I separate. I think that I may articulate and enunciate my words and choose my words a little more wisely when I'm speaking at the library, where the one of the gubernatorial candidates were there. I get that. I know how to adapt to where I am, and that's something that Amber J and I always have discussions about, because we've had discussions about presentation. People always talk to us about presentation, and I was telling her one day, I said, you know, it's not about changing who you are, but sometimes you have to adapt to where you are and your audience, and I get that. So for me, I try to present midway a lot. If I'm going into an environment, if you notice when I came to you, I didn't cover my tattoos. I had on a short sleeve shirt, but I had on a leather jacket over top. Because I want the kids to see me and I want them to hear what I'm saying, but I also don't want them to think that, oh, I can do what I want to do and work where I want to work. It doesn't work like that all the time. And that gets into the topic of cultural appropriations, and we're not going there. But I think, Lesley, the key to truly being transparent is not turning off who you are, but it is adapting to your environment. So I adapt to my environment. But one thing about it, I am Lily Mae. And you need to understand what that means. What being Lily Mae means is that I'm going to be brutally honest. And most of the time, I really don't care what you think about me. Because what I know is what you think about me. 9 times out of 10, you're not going to say it to my face. You're going to subliminally denounce, persecute.
That's a fact.
I'm just saying. But guys, hey, if you want to call in, if you have a comment, if you have a social media experience that you want to talk about, if you want somebody to stay TF off your timeline, call us 804-915-5202. But look, let's check into social media and see. Antoine, you got anything going on over there? Wow. Basically, we just have a lot of people watching. Shout out to everybody watching. Please, if you have something to say, definitely call us 804-915-5202. We're going to take a break in a little bit. But let me talk to you quickly about how social media ruins relationships. Number one, it creates a false sense of intimacy. Just because somebody like your picture, that don't mean they want you.
Unfortunately.
I'm just saying. And you know what, ladies, this is for you. I'm a big girl, okay? I wear a waist trainer sometimes. I have a best friend that will say to me, Lil, that outfit not for you. Stop liking and loving people's pictures when you know they look terrible. If 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12 of your stomachs are showing, and I'm not talking about 6-packs, stop putting on body contour dresses. I know that I'm broad-shouldered. I could be a linebacker for the 49ers. I get it. The reality is that I'm going to make sure that what I'm wearing flatters me and my body. I get you, we embracing our bodies. I get it. But embrace your body, but also understand that everything is not for everybody. And just because they got it in Lane Bryant is not meant for everybody. And I mean, I feel like I can say that because I transitioned from being a super plus size woman to being a moderately plus size woman. Because you know, half the time now people be like, well, you ain't plus size no more. You can't talk about plus size women. Oh yes, I am. You feel what I'm saying? But I think that's what it is, that false sense of intimacy. Now, fostering illusions of community. You can't identify with everybody on social media.
Yeah.
I am so sick of people. Yeah, child, I understand your struggle. You do not understand my struggle because you don't know my life. People lie on social media. You know, I'm thinking of one instance right now. This young lady, who I know very, very well, and who I have had to detach myself from because I got sick and tired of her faking her happiness for social media instead of being vulnerable or not saying anything on social media. When people know what you're dealing with. And I think it's almost a mental health disorder. We're going to talk about that in the second half. Because there is something called social media validation addiction. And y'all better be careful, because the DSM-5, they can put it in there. There is a social media validation addiction. But guys, we're getting ready to take a break, and we will be back in a few minutes. And we're going to talk about more about false affirmations. We're going to talk about social media validation addiction, but we also will talk about some good stuff about what MBG has going on with the Christmas siblings and how we're going to launch that. So give us about 2 minutes. We're going to take a break, and we will be back shortly. Ooh, yeah, I'm back in.
Yeah, you was going in.
You know where I am. Guys, we'll be right back. I ain't gonna go in. I'm chilling. I'm trying not to go in, but it's real. This thing is real.
You have just a push-up. You couldn't catch up all the time.
Okay.
But there's a lot of people push-up on it, and I think the direction you were trying to use a better word is branding.
For which one?
What you was mentioning is for what y'all was going on. The word you was looking for is branding.
What was
When she was talking about the different pages for the different entities and things like that, the key word is branding. So that you know which better way to brand, how you brand yourself individually to a different personality. It's not so much for what you, I know what you were saying.
Yeah, because I think she was talking more about presentation
Right,
and but I think I know where she was going because of the speech that I made, verbiage.
No.
Yeah, verbiage and things like that. Because one thing about it, for me and y'all, and most of the people watching, y'all know me. This is how it works. It works such as Lily Mae is Lily Mae. Lily Mae with a title attached is going to be somewhat different. But Stephen, you know me well enough to know I don't switch it up too much.
No, I know that. No, I was paying attention to what I knew what you were referring to.
Right.
Which is I was just paying attention to.
But with my brand and the different things that I know that there are certain things that I can do on Lesley Wright's page, and I know that there are certain things that I can do on EDP 365. For instance, on my show, my EDP 365 show, we are live, raw, and uncut. More than likely, you're not going to see me be live, raw, and uncut on my Me Connect Promote page.
Right. And that's branding because you're catering to a certain audience for what you need. It's all a part of you. You just have a focus just for what you do. You ain't focusing about making a cake right there.
Right.
You have ideas and things like that, but you're focusing to what you need at the moment. That's all that is.
Yeah, I was going to say that was beautiful what you said too, like balancing the business, because people don't know that. They'll bring people in they know they'll mess up their business.
And I would rather you have.
That's why you better stop playing.
You
better stop telling the
I ain't going to
truth.
cut y'all off when y'all was talking.
You better stop telling the truth.
Share.
Oh, get some Altoids and some gum.
Antoine better stop telling the truth.
Well, my finger's been in the Altoids, so I ain't gonna get
Y'all, we're in the process. We ready to come back. We coming back. Y'all better stop telling the truth.
The thing is, I'd rather you have multiple
All right.
things for a
2 minutes, baby.
Uh-huh. Hey everybody, and we are back. Once again, I'm your girl Lily Mae, and this is
Antoine Johnson,
aka the Confidential Informant. And we have Miss Lesley right here of Everyday People 365. That is my song, Everyday. I love it. But guys, we're talking about stay TF off my timeline. And basically, we're ending the season on relationships. But this came up because relationships in the entirety that we discussed encompasses friendships, business relationships, and all of that. And social media, not just social media, the usage of social media and the people who are using social media has turned it into something that it wasn't developed to be. I always say I wish that social media would have stayed as a platform for college students. Because when I got on social media in, I think 2006, when I got on Facebook in 2006, you had to have a college email address. And you remember when they said your network?
Yep.
Like your school was your network. So, when I signed up, NSU was my network. And so now it's like all these fake pages and stuff, that's deception. Those are the things that make social media so crazy. But let's continue to talk about how social media can ruin friendships. It keeps us from being fully known. What did I say earlier? People just will not be transparent. People will not be transparent. And it comes to, we get good at storytelling, but bad at story living. Y'all some good storytellers, but y'all not living the stories you telling, because this is my thing. If you at your house, and you and your husband living in 2 separate bedrooms, and I'm just gonna keep it real. You living in 2 separate bedrooms. Stop fronting. Because trust and believe, you're hurting yourself. Because what you're trying to do is, you are trying to make people feel like there's this perfect picture. When the reality is that there are a whole lot of people out there who are struggling. And what you're also doing is, you're confusing the heck out of your kids. Because what you don't realize is, your children know what's going on in your house. So they're confused. So then they start living false realities. And then when they realize that their friends' lives are perfect via social media, they go and commit suicide because they thought that their friend's life was perfect and theirs wasn't. This social media thing is bigger than just selfies, filters, because filters got a whole lot of y'all messed up. Filters got a whole lot of y'all thinking that, yeah, I'm just saying. And filters got a whole lot of y'all men getting catfished when y'all meet up with some of these people. I ain't throwing no shade though. Filters, whoa. Filters, let me tell you something about filters. This is the crazy thing about social media. Filters can truly hide a lot.
Yeah.
And people are getting so good with photo editing now. Like, I tell people all the time, y'all know I've been doing this whole little run rate modeling thing, and I tell people, when they put makeup on me, I want to look like me.
Yeah.
I don't want to look like Wendy, and I don't want to look like Rue. I want to look like me. Stop, I don't need no contouring. I was born with this wide nose, I want to keep this wide nose. I was born with a double chin, I'm going to keep the double chin. Don't be contouring me and have me looking all crazy. I want to look like Lily Mae, Betty Lou, and Bo's child. I'm just saying. But, alright, so let's talk about false affirmations. Do you have any friends that had a transition in life and they deleted all their old photos?
I have. I mean, me personally, I've had friends that have changed their whole government name just because they want to get away from a situation that they were in before in the past. So they'll change their whole name. You know, like you'll see people you went to high school with, and their first name will be the same, but the last name will be something different.
Okay.
Something crazy. I've seen situations like that just so they can get away from that situation because they think it's going to change if they change their name. But no, people still know you at the end of the day. So what you've done and what you've done in the past is still there. It's not going to change.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
I'm trying to not drop names because they my friend. You said friend.
Yeah, well, I guess. All right.
Well, I'm gonna say what my friends know. My friends are older. I didn't realize I was that much older than you two.
Whatever.
But my friends, I
Old
think
folk be doing too. And they older than all of us. But anyway.
I haven't had any of my friends to do that. I think it really depends on how much you're consumed with social media. I'm on a different site altogether different from Facebook.
Okay.
And on that side, I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so it's like, you see my old pictures, you see my new pictures.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to address something that you said.
Mm-hmm.
With social media, I feel like there are certain things you shouldn't put out there for people.
True.
I think if you see my picture, and I'm happy with my team, my EDP 365 team, Mel, Sandy, and Chris. If you see that, I don't want you to know that I'm at home crying because my kid done went off to college and she did something she don't have any business doing, but she's doing fine out in Norfolk State, y'all, so she's okay. But I just think there are certain things that should be kept private.
Okay.
But again, it's just so many different facets to it. For instance, with EDP 365, our thing is when we come on the show, we're, we pretty much keep it real, as most people say. But the thing is, we share a lot of our personal business. We do, just because of how the show is structured. But I still feel like there are certain things that we shouldn't share. There are certain things about our personal lives that social media shouldn't know.
Okay.
There are a lot of things we share behind the scenes when we're not on camera
Gotcha.
that we share with each other and we share in confidence, but we don't share with our social media viewers.
Yeah, go ahead.
I got a question, because you bring up a good point. I really believe that privacy is a big issue, but we see more and more people in media every day, just like, I'm getting married this day, my kid got his first tooth, like things like that all the time. So for you, I was just wanting to know, do you ever feel as though you feel pressured by people that follow your show and what you do to, put things out there that they're asking questions about?
Okay.
No, I don't feel that pressure because even before the show, I'm very private.
Right.
I don't like a lot of people in my business.
Right.
I'm not the type of person where if you tell me something today, you're going to see it on my page tomorrow. That's not me. But again, because of the structure and the atmosphere that we create for EDP 365, we create that environment where we share and we laugh and we tell a lot of things. We don't always get a lot of personal questions on the show, so I never feel the pressure of I have to tell this or I have to tell that. Now with my second book, and just to let you know how personal and private things I like things to be with my second book is centered more on things that happen in my life. And it took me about 4 or 5 years to really sit down and write that book and put it out there because there were some things that I didn't want to put in the public eye about me. But again, I just feel like, when you're in the spotlight, whether you're Jay-Z or whether you're Lily Mae or Les, there are just certain things that you need to keep private.
True. Okay. All right. Okay. So that brings us to the whole social media validation addiction. So, all right. First of all, addiction. Addiction is any compulsive behavior that leads to negative effects. That's what makes it addiction. Because you can have compulsive behaviors that, may be positive. You may be too clean. And that's a good thing. You don't have any germs or whatever if you think so. But social media validation addiction basically is like this. You measure your success based off of other people's downfalls and shortcomings. Alright. Case in point.
Definitely was a victim.
Case in point.
Wow, I can't wait to hear that.
And I'm just really starting to realize this. I have been surrounded by people that everything is negative. Everything is negative. I mean, you would rather see somebody in tears than to see somebody happy. But what I found out was that it's because you're hiding from who you are and you're unhappy, you're insecure. And because you're so unhappy and insecure, you get a kick out of when things bad happen to other people, so much so that it got to a point where I would just be like, I don't care, why do you care? Because at the end of the day, all of that negative energy begins to rub off on you. I reflect upon watching so many kids struggling with family, and we have someone calling in. Good evening. Thank you for calling MBG Speaks 101. I'm your girl Lily Mae. How can we help you this evening? Can you turn your TV down? Good evening.
Oh, sorry. I didn't hear you.
Hi, how are you? comment.
I have unfriended people because their posts were so negative. And it's because, you know how I am, I try to live in a positive space all the time. And sometimes it's just like watching reality TV. If you continue to put yourself in that negative space, you're going to continue to have negative energy.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of people don't know how to be positive and they don't know how to be happy. They don't know how to have self-worth and to live healthy. And I always try to, like, even me and you have conversations sometimes, and I always try to find something positive out of every situation. And I find myself getting on my friends on social media and telling them, you know, your last 6 posts were all negative. They're like, yeah, but I understand, you know, perception is, you know, based from the other person, but still, your last 6 posts were negative, so that means you're in a negative space. So I'm going to need you to go say 12 positive affirmations to yourself to make sure you're not in a negative space. But I feel like social media it's all in what you make it, but at the same time, what you follow on social media is what you put into your body, just like water, just like food.
That's
So
why.
if you put,
Go ahead, baby, because I was gonna say that's why that unfollow, defriend, and block button is your best friend.
right, you have to decide what it is that you want to put into your space, into your life, into your energy bubble. And it's just some things you can't follow. Like I take breaks from social media. I'm already not really on social media like that, but some people reach out and they really do need. I'm posting this because I need someone to talk to. So I will call or text or send a DM, say, hey, how you doing? Typically, you know, they're kind of resistant at first, but then they talk. But then we talk. A week later, all of your posts are still negative. I can't receive your negative energy no more. So you gotta go.
Wow, and guys, shout out to the caller on the line. She always wants to be behind the radar, but I have to give credit to whom credit is due. Shout out to Miss Jamila. She is a huge part of the Motivational Brown Girls name. She is the individual that came up with the Motivational Brown Girls name. You probably will never ever see her on a live feed with MBG, but she is the woman behind the Women with the Vision. We love you and thank you so much for calling, Jamila. So, since she off the line, I can say this. Yes, she is telling the truth. She gets on my last nerve because she is always, well, Lily, you know, you have to look at it this way and you have to look at it that way. And I'm like, Jamila, I don't care right now. I'm mad. And the funny thing is that of my best friends, she is the most peaceful one. She is the most peaceful one. She is the one that wants to see the good in everybody, even when I'm like, But yeah, so shout out to Jamila. But wow, guys, I mean, I don't even know which way to go now because stay off my timeline is all I can say. If I'm posting something that you don't like, stay off my timeline. And this is my thing. What are y'all thoughts about people that you know don't like you and they stay on your timeline anyway? Or people that always have something to say about what you're posting, but they won't remove themselves. Because also, I don't feel like I need to keep removing people. I feel like you need to remove yourself.
I don't usually have that problem. I think everybody that don't like me, they know I don't play. And they know I'm gonna come with the facts. If they ever come for me, it's just gonna be facts.
Oh. Ooh, okay, facts. Ooh. Oh.
People don't like facts.
Miss Lesley.
Well, get normally a lot of negative feedback. But the thing is, it's obviously something I'm doing right, something that you're liking, so keep on watching.
Yep.
Very true.
The haters that make you like.
I think a lot of times, you know, I will throw out a lot of comments or statements and people get offended. Like I'll throw out, I threw out a statement a couple of weeks ago about, is it that I'm brutally honest or am I judgmental? Mm-hmm. And so many people commented and I feel like people were really offended because of that. And my thing is, it's called a thought-provoking statement. It's meant to make people think critically. Because what I'm learning is that it's the reason our kids can't pass tests, and the reason our kids aren't literate and can't read and write, is because nobody has been giving them thought-provoking statements.
Yeah.
We are training our kids to be robots. So when I throw stuff out there and adults respond with emotion and not logic, I have a problem.
Can I just piggyback on something that you said?
Please.
Here's the thing, and I always say this, and I've said this for years. It doesn't matter what you do, good, bad, or indifferent. There is going to be somebody who does not like what you're doing for whatever your reason may be. You can get on and talk about 8 billion positive things on your show. There's going to be somebody that's going to say, you know what? She kept it too real. Oh, can you believe that he said that? Right.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have said that. They sat too close to each other. They're giving off the wrong. She shouldn't have brought Les on her show. She has a whole different dynamic. But regardless of what you do, there's always going to be someone who has something negative to say. So you have to be confident in who you are and what you're presenting. You learn from the people who bring negative to you, and you learn from the people who bring positive, and you figure out what you do with that information, and you move forward.
Confirmation. My pastor at my home church said this Sunday. He said, don't worry about what happened. Take it and run.
That's right.
He said run. Antoine, he said run. And you know when he said run, I was already getting them ducks in line, because we going to run.
All publicity is good publicity. In my book.
Okay.
All of it.
All right. Okay. Wow, guys. Stay TF off my timeline. Oh my gosh. Lesley, this has been great.
Yes, it's been wonderful.
Whoa.
You have to come on the EDP 365 live show. We would love to have you.
Hey,
Oh, I appreciate
we will roll.
So again, 2018, we're doing big things, and you don't have to worry about the Wednesday because we got you on a Tuesday.
Hey, turn up on a Tuesday. That's what's up. So, wow. All right, guys, here it goes. We're gonna introduce our Christmas siblings to you guys, and then we're gonna close out.
Is it time?
It's all I know. This show went
Who is that
fast.
here?
This show went fast. Yo.
Wow.
All right, listen up. Christmas siblings, Motivational Brown Girls are the Christmas siblings. And the reason we chose Christmas siblings is because we feel like we're still kind of young, so we don't want to be Christmas mothers and fathers. We want to be siblings. And so we are coming to the community, and we are going to bless 12 individuals, 6 young people, and 6 single mothers and single fathers. Fathers, our emphasis is on you. We salute you. The Motivational Brown Girls platform is centered around embracing the African American male. And our sincere thoughts behind being Christmas siblings is that we want the men out there who are handling their responsibility, whether your child is in your custody or not. If you're handling your responsibility and doing what you need to do, the Christmas siblings, Lily Mae, Adam the editor, Amber J, and Antoine the confidential informant, we're coming to you. We're coming to your house, we're coming to your neighborhood, and we're going to present you with the token of love. Like the Temptation said, we're going to give love on Christmas Day, simply because we truly embrace the essence of our men. And we know that if Willie Lynch taught you guys up 10 years ago on the banks of the James River on Christmas Day in 1700s, if he did that and he taught women how to tear you down, we're going to use his same teachings to build you back up. And that's who Motivational Brown Girls is. Holla if you hear. So, whoa, all right. Well, let's see what this is. Oh, well, I guess not. So, all right. Do you have any final thoughts or announcements? From your end?
Social media, just be careful what you're doing out there. Be careful what you put out there. Everybody doesn't need to know everything that's going on in your life. Always remember to check out EP 365, Brown Girls. I do want to say that, whatever events you all have coming up, if you need somebody to volunteer to donate, please let me know. I would love to be able to give back to the community in a lot of different ways. We talked about it briefly. We really didn't go into a lot of detail, but it's all about networking and collaborating and and building together. 'Cause
But
the
you
more-
know what? You gotta be careful.
Oh yeah, you did
Who
say
you
that
endorse.
earlier. You said that earlier. That's right. You did.
You
say
gotta
that.
be careful who you endorse and who you allow to endorse you. So you know what? Hold up, guys. Let me just throw this out there. Y'all see what happened in Virginia, and y'all see what happened in New Jersey. I'm just saying, everybody that y'all man up there in DC endorse, they end up losing. I'm just saying. You gotta be careful who you endorse.
We winning over at EDP 365.
Child, you gotta
We
be-
winning. We
You gotta be
winning.
careful who you endorse and who you let endorse you. Because sometimes people endorse you, you might get trumped. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But okay, I'll be good. I'll be good. Antoine, any final thoughts on
Oh
that?
man, I'm Antoine Johnson, confidential informant. You can find me at _blessed loves. That everything is very simple to spell. BLESSLOVES. I'm here upon the 92 Bell, but I'm also here with MBG, and I'm really excited about the Christmas siblings. If you guys need any help, you can reach me on one of those pages. And if we can't do it, I definitely have my community service organization slide there for y'all these holidays.
Hey, turn up BSU slide. Yes, we are Trojans. I don't know Lesley, but.
My
I heard
daughter,
you
my
mention
daughter, she
those
said
things.
what?
Okay, so we got Spartans and Trojans. You know, I was a Spartan for a year, so hey, it's cool. Guys, you know, this has been awesome.
Thank you.
This has been awesome, yes. And one of the positives is that Lesley and I connected on social media formally. We've seen each other in passing. We knew of each other. But we actually connected on social media. And so with that being stated, social media is a good thing. It provides a sense of community. It's a fun way to stay connected. It's a way to self-express and self-represent. But you just have to sometimes you take calculated risks. But just make sure that the benefits outweigh the risks. And make sure that you use social media in love and with good intentions. Alright? Stop being subliminal. Be direct. But directly inbox. But you know what? Forget the inbox. Pick up the phone and call. Once again, this is MBG Speaks 101 Season 2. This is the final episode of Season 2. We will be back with Season 3. Stay tuned for what's coming with MBG. I'm your girl, Lily Mae, and we out. Hey guys, we are done. Mike's down. Antoine's still live. I'm still live. Look, it's been real. Lesley, tell everybody how they can find you once again on social media. Live.
EDP 365 is the brand page. You can network with me at Me Connect Promote. For all the authors, go to Authors Den and Co-op. And the November issue of EDP 365 is online. Just go to edp365.com. And thank you again, Sweetie, for having me on your show.
Yes. Shout out to Mr. Sykes, who's behind the camera. He has been awesome. He has been absolutely producing social media for us for a minute. And things are just going great. MBG has a surprise for you coming December 1. And then an even bigger surprise coming January 1. But Christmas Siblings is major. Shout out to Miss Kat Simons and iHeartMedia for their embracing of the MBG platform. That's something that's major. And we're ready to rock and roll. We're going from where we are to where we're supposed to be. So once again, MBG listens and then we speak. Good night.
Good night, y'all.
Good night.
How they can contact him? How they can contact you?
Oh, sorry about that. I thought we was cut. You can follow me at _at BLESSLOVES on all social media outlets. That goes for Twitter and Instagram as well, and also Snapchat.
Hey, follow me on my Snap.
I don't be on there like that though.
Oh, yeah. I can't get with it. I feel like if my students up there, I don't need to be up there. I just don't have time.
What is this great tool?
So this is amazing.